What's up, y'all? Welcome to Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to talk about a strike that was authorized for the Dodger Stadium workers, the service workers at Dodger Stadium. We're also going to branch off into apathy and what we can do about it. But first, let's talk about this article. Now, this is out of Reuters. Dodger Stadium workers vote to authorize strike ahead of All-Star game. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but I just found out today and I thought it was important. So, Los Angeles, July 11th, Reuters. Concession workers at Dodger Stadium have voted overwhelmingly to authorize a strike just over a week before the venue is set to host Major League Baseball's All-Star game. More than 1,500 workers for concessions giant Compass Group and Levy Restaurants voted 99% in support of the authorization, and union leaders said a strike could be called at any moment. So 99% of their members out of 1,500 voted in support of this strike because they feel like they need better wages, better conditions. The workers are currently trying to negotiate a new contract. One of the workers was quoted as saying, "I voted yes to strike because I often have to pick up shifts at the Rose Bowl just to try to make ends meet." That was a Dodger Stadium bartender Laura Ortiz said in a press release put out by Unite Here Local 11. "I love working at Dodger Stadium and know that our company can do better." The union said it represents food servers, bartenders, suite attendants, cooks, and dishwashers at the iconic Southern California Stadium. The All-Star Game, which includes nearly a week of events in the lead up to the July 19th contest, is returning to Los Angeles for the first time since 1980 and is expected to draw thousands of hungry and thirsty fans from around the country and beyond. The Dodgers did not respond to a request for comment, but the Major League Baseball Players Association voiced their support for the workers. Like thousands of ballpark workers across the country, Local 11's members are a vital yet underappreciated part of what makes our game great, the players said in a statement. They deserve to be treated fairly and will continue to have 1,200 members of the MLBPA behind them. That is what we call solidarity, right? Solidarity, supporting each other with a common interest, being there for each other. The players themselves were locked out by the league's owners earlier this year amid a contract dispute that threatened to cancel the start of the season before an agreement was reached in March. Now, I know what many are going to say. In the IBEW, there's a no strike clause. Well, my personal opinion is that that's a flawed position to hold. I don't see any reason to take a tool out of a tool bag, especially if the goal is to negotiate a better standard of living and a standard of citizenship, which is our stated objectives. So I don't really agree with the no strike clause, but again, that's my opinion. I wish we had a more democratic way of crafting our policy as an organization, but again, it's just opinions, right? We still have very lofty goals, and our objects are really noble, and I support them wholly. And so I do my best to try to live my life to accomplish those things. I think it's important. Now, you have 1,500 union members voting 99% to support a strike and standing behind each other because they realize things are hard, and things are rough, and things aren't getting better. And they need to now withhold their labor to say, hey, we deserve better. But think about the solidarity it takes for 1,500 people to stand together, united for one cause. Now, I read on Facebook a few days ago a comment from an apprentice who said it's very frustrating when he tries to talk on the job site about unionism and being a part of it and being involved, and then he hears journeymen who are full of apathy sit there and say, oh, this is a contractor's local and they run the show and there's no point in being involved. And I gotta imagine, feels a bit like it's a monumental task to break through. And it is. That level of apathy is hard to overcome. I don't know what to do other than to try to be an example for folks. So I do the things that I do to hopefully inspire someone else to realize that they too can do something, because I'm just a journeyman on the books, working for a living, who's trying to be involved in this community and help make it a better place in my small little way. And so hopefully that inspires others. But how do you counteract apathy? I would say you don't. And I'll tell you why. When you lead by example and you're talking to folks, you cannot waste too much time to try to change someone's mind through words. It's very hard to get someone to change their opinion unless they're reasonable and open to new information. It's hard to get them to change their perspective and their viewpoint through words, because people have lived their experience and this is the conclusions they've come to. I would contend though, through your actions, you can have a far bigger impact than just worrying about speaking to one person. So yeah, go out there, talk up that unionism, talk up collectivism, talk up getting out there and volunteering in the community, volunteering in political campaigns, volunteering in activities, game nights, coming out to different meetings and all that stuff, and come to the union meetings and be very involved. All of that stuff is super, super important. But here's where the rubber meets the road. When someone does show interest and does want to find out more, that's where you waste your time. That's where you spend your time trying to make that fire light, because you're seeing the embers, you're seeing the spark, you're seeing the interest. You got to feed that. There's the fuel there. It just needs oxygen, it needs heat, it needs the right amount of air. You got to feed that combination to get that person sparked. Now that person goes out, and that's why we say each one teach one, get out there and reach one, because you are doing the important work. Like I said, at the last union meeting, it was an apprentice that changed the start time of the union meeting. This local, and I'm gonna start calling it my my Lou Twinsies, right? Local Union 26ers, Lou Twinsies. That's my new thing for local 26ers. So when I say my Lou Twinsies, you know who I'm talking about. My Lou Twinsies that were able to make that change. You got to understand something. Local 26 is run by a minority, very small minority. And here's where strategy comes into play. Talk to your brothers and sisters, man. Find out where their interests lie. Find out what the needs are. Find out who is motivated to do something. Spread the information and educate each other, because that's the first thing, is to educate folks on what their rights are. Read up on the bylaws. Read up on your collective bargaining agreement. Read your IBEW Constitution. If you don't have one, go to the hall and get yourself some copies. They owe you all 3. Read those documents. It's important. On top of that, read the LMRDA. That has your labor bill of rights. That supersedes all of the other things. If they are counter to the LMRDA counts above those things. And so you got to know all of these things, because you got to be educated in your unionism. All right? Spread the gospel. And then, you know, when you talk about implementing policy and changing the way things are, it doesn't take a lot of people. You go to the hall, go to a meeting, make a motion, have a second reading, have your brothers and sisters come to the hall with you. Chances are you're going to be able to convince people that are already regular attendees. Everybody's not set in stone. Everybody's not in one spot. A good idea is going to gain support. And if you bring people that are like-minded, you can implement change with a very small number of folks. But it takes work. So if you are inspired, my Lou Twinsies, if you're inspired, if you love the labor movement, if you love your IBEW the way I do, if you think we can do better, understand that we can, but it's up to you. No one person can do it alone. It's a we thing. It's never a me thing. All right? Take ownership of your local. Make no mistake, this is our local. And if it's a contractor's local, it's because we let it be so. The onus is on you to change that. It's not on anybody in the ivory tower to change what's been working for them. It's on you to change what's not working for you. Y'all remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It always has been. It always will be. And it will always take solidarity to win. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and share these videos. Drop a comment. Helps with the algorithm. That's the standard stuff at the end of a video. But for real, think about it. All right? Peace.